Well, hello there. I'm Photo Dave, and this is Toypixx. And if this is your first time or 100th on the channel, Toypixx is all about helping you and helping me get a little better about our action figure photography. But sometimes, beyond that, I also talk about the news, what's going on with the toy industry, the currently trending topics. And for today's video, I think I'm going to talk about, well, today's Hasbro live stream from the Star Wars team. Yeah, live stream, team, one take. I'm getting good at this whole thing. Okay, maybe it's just me, and let me know in the comments if it is, or let me know in the comments if it isn't. I feel like watching a Hasbro Star Wars team live stream is kind of like watching an old episode of Seinfeld. It's really the live stream about nothing, except here's the thing. Whereas Seinfeld tried to be hilarious with its show, the live stream is unintentionally hilarious because usually with the Star Wars team, it's just bad. And the jokes they try to make, those are the least funny part of the whole thing. At least when you're listening to the Marvel Legends team and the G.I. Joe team, these guys, they're kind of in touch with things, they're kind of joking around, they just seem really comfortable with each other, and it's just a better overall viewing experience. But yeah, I also want you to know I really don't have a horse in the race here when it comes to Star Wars Black Series. I've already made it known and make it clear, not that, I only have 107 subscribers, so not too many people really know this yet, but I'm just not the Black Series type. I will get some army builders from time to time. For instance, yesterday I ordered 4 Dark Troopers. There is a little bit of shame in that, but I've got a loot coming from SH Figure Arts, and I need to recreate that hallway scene because, photography. Anyway, before we get too crazy, let's just take a look at this stuff one by one. All right, let's start with Black Series. And number 1, the first thing we'll talk about is the Archive Wave. So, we've got A New Hope C-3PO, looking shiny, not looking bad at all. I don't want to knock these things. We have Lando Skiffguard. Now, I had Lando Skiffguard. He was a very cool figure, so if you're into Black Series and you missed out on him, do pick this one up. I think he's really good. Dengar and Emperor Palpatine. So as far as characters that at least I know and love, as far as the original trilogy is concerned, that's a pretty solid wave. So again, if you didn't have them and if you want the Black Series stuff, you might want to go out and get these things. I'm sure what they tend to do with the archive releases is they get a nice fresh coat of paint, sometimes slight variations to the paint, but where they really try to make them shine is in their face print, their whole whatever that thing's called. It's technology, apparently. So yeah, they're going to try and make them look even better. And one that I would be curious about for myself, if I were still really into this line, would probably be Palpatine. But here's the thing for me. If I get Palpatine, that's going to be a slippery slope that gets me into way more of them, and I can't do that. I can't just keep buying $25 figures. I'm much better with far fewer $100 figures. Believe me, it somehow saves me money. Very strange. But I digress. That's this next wave of archive figures from the Black Series. And then what's really crazy, they went and showed off pipeline reveals for the archive stuff. Now, pipeline reveals, if you haven't really been watching these things, are where they show you just pictures, like almost movie stills of the characters they're going to make. So they're not showing you plastic at all. They're just saying, hey, we're making this dude, or we're making this Jedi, or whatever, So they showed pictures and said, we are making a new Han Solo from The Force Awakens. Now, I say new. Again, archive. It'll probably just be a fresh coat of paint with better face detailing, better face print technology. And then we're also going to give you Chewbacca from A New Hope. The only thing about Chewie here, now again, if you don't have a Chewie, maybe get a Chewie. Chewie's pretty cool, but they could use a new mold for the Wookiees. I don't know, I had Chewie and he just felt really stiff. He didn't feel like he belonged in the line so much because of that. But that's just my opinion. Maybe you have Chewie and think he rocks, and who am I to tell you you're wrong? And next, they had a Grand Moff Tarkin reveal. Now, the Tarkin that they've already put out is pretty good stuff. So I don't know, unless the face printing has gotten so good that they're just going to crush it. But I don't know how much better this is going to be. And from what I understand, you can still find Tarkin fairly cheap. So you might want to look on your regular places, Amazon or eBay or wherever, and see if you can find them for a decent price. You might be worth it. Or you can wait forever for this archive release. And the last one is Leia in her Bouche disguise from Return of the Jedi. That's the one where she walks in dressed as a bounty hunter into Jabba's palace. I never had her. I don't know if she's any good, so I'm not going to sit here and make any kind of recommendation. I will just say that these are all characters that I dig. I dig Han Solo. I'm not a big sequel trilogy guy, but hey, it's Han Solo, so he might be worth just picking up just because Han Solo. Now, they didn't really show off anything new Black Series-wise, but they did give us some pipeline reveals, and if I were still collecting Black Series, I'd be really stoked, and I really hope that they nail them out of the gate on these three characters. The first one is Aayla Secura, one of the old Jedi that was, kind of, eliminated in Order 66, but she's one of those Jedi that's really been missing from a lot of collectors' shelves, so she's cool. And again, Jedi. Who doesn't want some Jedi? And then they decided, you know what? Aayla Secura, not enough. Let's throw in Darth Maul from the Clone Wars. That is ridiculous. And it's the Season 7 Darth Maul, where, the one where he's taken over Mandalore, he fights Ahsoka and he find a way to work together to try and get off the ship. He steals the ship, Ahsoka and Rex go crashing down. If you haven't seen Season 7 of the Clone Wars yet, the finale, I'm sorry, I just spoiled things for you. My apologies. Anywho, I would be super stoked for he and Aayla. We have Jedi, we have Sith, although I'm not sure he's technically Sith at that point, but he has a really sweet red lightsaber. So yeah, very cool figures. And then I loved Rogue One and another pipeline reveal that they've got coming down the pike. I'll go with either one. Maybe pipeline, pipe works better. Anyway, it's Saw Gerrera, and that's very cool. I thought Rogue One was a great story. It was a really well done, I felt, one and done thing for all those characters. So that's probably why I'm not so excited about the Andor series that's coming up, but it has potential too. Maybe he'll cross paths with Obi-Wan. Maybe there'll be some really cool stuff in store for him. But I thought the one and done thing was awesome. Saw Gerrera obviously has history now with Clone Wars and with Rebels and all that stuff too. But this is definitely the Rogue One version. I thought that Forrest Whitaker did a great job playing him. I think that character is going to look very cool. I really would be if I were still getting Black Series. And remember, I kind of think of most of Hasbro product as being the junk food in my collection. Now, I don't mean that as negatively as it sounds, but it just eats at your wallet slowly. Whereas I can plan for, say, $100 figure and think to myself, okay, I got a couple $100 figures this month, I got to chill out. You'll have these figures that just sneak up on you, and suddenly you have like $300 or $400 worth of figures in $25 increments piling up in your collection. So for me, again, it's a lot safer to just go that $100 route, which sounds weird, but it works better for me. But yeah, if I were still into the Black Series, I would be really stoked about them getting all three of these characters right, because they're sweet, sweet characters. Beep! I almost forgot! So, there's a Gaming Greats figure that was announced as well. It's called the Night Brother Archer. Now, the Night Brother basically just thinks something that looks a little bit like Darth Maul. I never got into the video games for Star Wars, or at least the ones that have come out in probably the last 20 years. But I think the figure looks really cool, and if it was something that I was focused on collecting, I would definitely go for this thing. He just looks sweet. And you can't argue with cool, especially if you're already into the gaming greats line. So if you're into that, it is a GameStop exclusive. So it sounds like those aren't too tough to come by, but I don't know. I haven't had my finger on the pulse of that kind of thing in quite some time. And now we're on to the vintage series with the 501st Clone Trooper. Yes, friends, the vintage series, by my way of thinking, is getting a whole lot more love than the black series. Well, that would have made me sad if I were into, well, the black series. But yeah, the stuff in vintage it's just looking good. Look at this thing. Helmet pops off. You have the clone head underneath it. Paint looks good. I know he's reintroduced into the line, but it sounds like maybe the whole helmet and the head thing's new. I haven't really done the vintage collection in years. I think the last figure I got that was that scale was actually maybe Power of the Force. Like, it's been a long time. Maybe some vintage collection. I did actually get the big Millennium Falcon, so I've got Han and Chewie. And I had to get that because, one, it's Han and Chewie, and it's the only ship in science fiction that never really seemed to have its own personality to me. Yeah, go ahead, Star Trek lovers. Bring it. Bring it in the comments. Okay, so the 501st Clone Trooper. Pretty rad. And now we have pipeline reveals for the vintage collection. Yes, friends, here we go. The first one is Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, Anakin Skywalker. Yes, you too can recreate the scene where he talks about his love of sand. Yeah. The next reveal was the Mandalorian Commando. Think black and red or like a dark gray and red looking Mandalorian. It's pretty much all I have to say about that. Either way, those both, I mean, I don't know if they're going to look sweet, but the character selection there, it's not bad. If it weren't for all the sand and the Anakin. I think maybe they should just maybe troll us a little bit and maybe deco him with a little bit of sand toward the bottom of his feet or maybe on his boots or something. That would be funny. I might be kind of a jerk. Now this next vintage collection piece, well, it was a thing of beauty. I watched this, my mouth, my jaw was just on the floor. I'm just going, that thing's incredible. And this is one of the reasons I felt like vintage collection gets all the love. As I'm watching this, I'm just going, wow, it is, well, Boba Fett's throne room, but not quite Boba Fett's throne room because it comes with a chunky Bib Fortuna because it was when it was Bib Fortuna's throne room and Boba goes in and he gets rid of Bib Fortuna. So the whole throne room, it's got walls, it's got 50 accessories. The deco on it is insane. The throne is insane. It's even got the thing where the throne sits on. When I was a kid with Jabba, it had Jabba, and then you would open the thing he sat on as if that were the Rancor pit. Well, obviously it's not. But that thing in this set moves forward as if it's moving forward to watch the Rancor devour somebody. It's incredible. I mean, this thing, the detail is insane. But this is where Hasbro giveth, and then Hasbro taketh away because it's $229. Now, I am the first one to say I did my homework. The cost of plastic has gone up. It's insane. However, Hasbro's operating profit has also gone up and is also insane. So I see those two numbers and I'm like, man, it just smacks of something that rhymes with greed. I think greed is it. I think greed's the word I was looking for. So I don't know. I mean, I don't want to call out Hasbro. Again, I don't think, just like with the Marvel Legends team, I don't think it's the designers, it's the marketing people. I don't think any of that is their fault. I think it's the higher-ups, and I think it's the same deal with Star Wars here. I think the Star Wars people are totally good, may not be cool, they might not be our cup of tea, and they might be wildly out of touch, but a lot of the product they make is still pretty decent stuff, but the people above them, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is one of the reasons that I have trouble buying a lot of Hasbro product. But yeah, I mean, there is no denying this thing looks incredible. But there's also no denying that that's a hefty price tag. And unless you're big time into the vintage collection and big time into needing everything, I just don't see a lot of collectors going nuts on this thing. Now, I've been wrong many times in the past, and I might be wrong this time too, but as cool as this thing is, I just don't necessarily see it selling out unless they really produce it in limited numbers, which they really can't do because places need to sell it. I think I've seen this comment and I think I agree with it. This thing probably should have actually been a vintage collection. That was easy for me to say. A vintage collection HasLab. But yeah, let me know what you think. What did you think of all these reveals? Drop it in the comments. Let's see what you got. So those were my thoughts on today's Hasbro Star Wars team live stream. Did it again. That was the first take on that little part. Go me! But anyway, let me know what you're thinking. What are your comments? What did you think of today's live stream? Let me know in the comments, like I said earlier. And if you're digging the content, be sure to like, share, subscribe, dislike, because the algorithm even likes that because it's sick and wrong. But yeah. Oh, and I feel like I need to clarify something. I did say that Hasbro stuff is kind of like the junk food. So $25 doesn't seem like much, but if you buy a $25 figure every couple days, eventually it adds up. You're spending like $400 in a month that you didn't think about. It's like eating a dessert every day. It kind of rots at you a little bit from the inside. Suddenly your wallet has a bunch of holes in it and you don't know how they got there. It's like, for me, the junk food collection, I love them. I still get classified. I love those figures. But the Hasbro figures, probably the way I collect, aren't going to make my top 10. But some of them are still a whole lot of fun. And, well, G.I. Joe, it's just so nostalgic. But that clearly veers off from Star Wars. But you know what I mean. You know, you kind of get it. You say, okay, I get it now, man. I spend this every little while, all that. Anywho, junk food, before I keep rambling. That's all I got for this time, folks. So, hey, have fun and happy snapping. See ya.